Hello, happy Friday, folks. Glad to have you here with me, coming live to you for Lunch and Learn. Typically go live on Thursdays at lunch, but we have had a busy couple of weeks with commitments over the lunchtime hour. So I wanted to make sure that you didn't feel forgotten about in this LinkedIn space, or if you're tuning in on YouTube, in the YouTube space. But I'm coming to you today with a topic that is near and dear to my heart and to my stomach, because it is a lesson that I learned maybe a little bit too late. And so I want to start by saying, if you are someone who is guilty of eating most or all of their lunches from their desk, I see you and I know you because I was you. I want to take you back about 5 years. I was working in the corporate environment in a manufacturing plant, and I multitasked every single lunch every day as often as I could. I would oftentimes eat lunch with my left hand while my right hand was replying to emails, updating spreadsheets, so on and so forth. It was my only perceived way of getting things done and checking things off of my to-do list, because I had that hour free of meetings, of commitments, and so I would multitask. And the challenge or the problem that I had was that behavior was actually negatively impacting my productivity for the balance of the day, not to mention negatively impacting my health. And I want to talk to you about why and advocate for you taking time on your lunch hour to take a break, that you are entitled to taking a break during your workday, and that it can actually benefit you and your productivity. So let's get into it. When we multitask, we know, first of all, that our brain cannot actually multitask. What's happening then is something called switch tasking. So someone shared this with me this week, that when you have a test subject write the numbers 1 through 26 and then write the letters A through Z, they will do it significantly faster than if you ask them to write 1A, 2B, 3C, 4D, 5E, so on and so forth. Much faster to go 1 through 26 and then A through Z. And essentially that's what's happening for you when you're trying to switch tasks. So yes, you might be eating, but your brain keeps going back and forth, switching tasks and delaying the length of time it takes for you to finish that task. That there is an argument here to be made that if you were to just sit and eat your meal and then do the task over your lunch break, that it would actually require less time to complete than if you were to try to do both simultaneously. So in that aspect, there is no true benefit to working through your lunch. And I'm not necessarily talking about working lunches here where perhaps you're out with a vendor or with your team, but I'm talking about lunches in which you're actually like trying to initiate creative thought or deep thinking. That's not going to be overly beneficial for you. Not only that, but when we're multitasking, when we're distracted while we're eating, we tend to overeat. So we tend to eat beyond our level of satisfaction and comfort into a place of discomfort. So we're not paying attention to the feedback, the cues that our body is telling us to say, hey, I'm done. You know, maybe the leptin has been released. That's a fullness hormone, by the way. That hormone has been released to say I'm done, but we're not paying attention. And so we miss that signal and we continue to eat. Now, we do lag in our fullness indicators from the time that we're eating. It can be up to 45 minutes after you finish a meal where your body actually gets that signal of fullness. So it's really beneficial to actually pay attention to your body while you're eating. Enjoy your food, regardless of what you're eating. Enjoy it. Not only that, but when we're experiencing this phenomenon of multitasking while we work, our body most likely is in a state of stress. Even if we feel like it's a good stress, maybe we're trying to hit a deadline, or maybe we're really excited about a new opportunity, our body is in a state of stress. And when our body is in a state of stress, a couple of things happen. Our body directs blood flow to the prefrontal cortex of our brain for quick thinking. This is part of our stress response. And it limits blood flow to the part of our brain that's responsible for deep, insightful, creative thinking, critical thinking. So when we're working as we're stressed, when we're trying to multitask, we're actually inhibiting our ability to do critical work. Inhibiting, excuse me. I was like, that really didn't sound right. It's Friday. Be patient with me, folks. Inhibiting our ability to do critical work. Our blood flow is also directed away from our digestive system. The way our nervous system works is there are two branches of our nervous system, of our central nervous system. There's our sympathetic branch of the nervous system. That's responsible for our stress response, that fight or flight or freeze response. Then there's the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system that is responsible for rest, digestion, recovery. And those two work in a beautiful harmony back and forth. So an excellent example of this is exercise, right? When we are exercising, we are in a state of stress. This is what's called acute stress. And we're tearing apart our muscles. We're putting strain on our body. And then after we're finished exercising, we go into a state of recovery and we rest. And our body then goes to work knitting back together the damage that's just been done, so to speak, and creating new cells. And that's how we grow muscle, right? That's how muscle is built, is the tearing apart of cells, addition of cells. And so what needs to happen is that our bodies need to be in a state of that parasympathetic branch of the nervous system in order to recover. Now, that parasympathetic branch is also responsible for digestion. So if our sympathetic branch, our stress branch of the nervous system is activated, then that means that our parasympathetic branch of the nervous system is deactivated. So our digestion branch is turned off. That means that we have decreased assimilation of our nutrients. And what will happen is that we experience lower satiation from our meal. So satiation is another term for extended fullness. We might be hungry again pretty quickly after we eat. We might experience that mid-afternoon slump or the need for something sugary to kind of pick our energy back up. We could be eating the healthiest meal on the planet. For years, I ate like nothing but brown rice and Brussels sprouts and chicken breast at lunch. But because I was multitasking my lunch and eating under a state of stress, at 2 o'clock, 2 hours later, I needed peanut butter filled pretzels or a Cliff Bar from the break room. I needed something that had quick, simple carbohydrates because my energy was low. And it was as a result of the fact that I was eating in that state of stress. That means that the blood in my body was not able to properly assimilate the nutrients. And what assimilation means is that it carries it to our cells to be used for energy. So food will pass through the body suboptimally digested, and you'll experience those cravings, you'll experience that drop in your energy levels and in your productivity. Not only that, but eating in a state of stress can cause digestive distress, where we experience painful gas and bloating as a result of the underdigested food in our gut. This was true for me. This might be a little bit of a too much share, but I know there are others out there that experience this as well. You're sitting in a meeting after lunch, you cannot focus because your digestive system is in literal pain. You are in pain. Your body is in pain and you cannot focus. You want to run to the bathroom because that seems to be the only place where you cannot be in pain. And some of this, outside of a medical diagnosis, some of this could be due to the fact that you are eating in a state of stress. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not retain the information in meetings right after lunch all that often. And this was a big contributing factor. So it was limiting my ability to do my job well. So to wrap this all up, taking 20 minutes, not even a full hour, although I'm going to make another video about why you should take the full hour. Taking 20 minutes to set aside and just eat your lunch. Just eat your lunch away from your desk. Go to the break room. Go outside. Go someplace that's enjoyable. Eat your lunch. Get back to work. You're going to be more productive. That's it for this week, folks. I'll be back next Thursday with another Lunch and Learn. Hope to see you there. And until then, have a great day, a great weekend. If you want to, drop a comment on this video with something that opened up your mind a little bit. We'll see you.